Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. I'm Dallas, and we're recording this before the Oscars. So to cover our bases, I can't believe, insert person here, did insert thing here. That's crazy.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I'm here, but I'm also looking at Oscar's looks because, oh my God, I live for the dresses.
Speaking of looks, hi guys, I'm Demi, and I unlocked a new aesthetic yesterday, and it's kind of like when you play video games and you get that new costume for your character. That's how I feel right now, but about me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we will be reviewing the movie 65 and the TV series Poker Face.
Yo.
Woo-woo.
Yes. Colin decided to switch back to dial-up, so he could not join us through Zencastr. You will not hear his voice. Sorry, Colin Hive. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, and subscribe, because here's the thing. The more we don't get famous, the more I'm going to have to do something like
Set Colin on fire
ridiculous to go viral. And Demi is associated with me. We want her to get to the Oscars and not have any controversy.
Yeah.
So when I say something crazy because y'all didn't subscribe fast enough, that's going to affect Demi. We don't want that.
Please
We don't want that. But it's about to happen.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
All right, so 65?
65.
Yes.
It is written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They wrote A Quiet Place and the upcoming Boogeyman movie that keeps playing its trailer before every movie I go to, regardless of genre.
It's coming out soon, I assume.
But who's checking for the Boogeyman movie like
Right?
this? Like, I'm watching every movie. You want to see the Boogeyman?
That's why
No.
they're trying to make sure somebody does check for it.
I gotta relax, AMC.
All I care about is that baby Leia is in that movie. I'm proud of her.
Oh, is that her
Yay.
who's rolling the little light ball?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I saw her,
Oh, right.
her
You
at
always
the
look
beginning,
down
and then
at
I
your
looked
phone
down at
when
my
the
phone.
before a trailer starts. Yeah, it stars Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt
Woo.
and some dinosaurs. And IMDb summary is: an astronaut crash lands on a mysterious planet only to discover he's not alone. That sounds like a lot of movies. But that's technically accurate.
To be fair, a lot of this movie sounds like a lot of other movies.
That is very fair.
But I think at least it does all those things well.
I partially agree.
Like, if you're going to be derivative, at least be good and entertaining, which to me it was.
Fair. I respect that. I thought it was okay. First things first, Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt are both great.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
very glad that they got such good actors for this, because
Otherwise, it would not have been.
oh boy, I was not
Really?
gonna rock with it otherwise.
Oh, wow. Why?
Yeah, it's just, for me, it doesn't do anything too,
Groundbreaking?
yeah, or even really that interesting. Like, you know, dinosaurs are inherently interesting.
Yes.
I love seeing dinosaurs chase somebody,
Mhm.
but I've seen that a bunch of times.
You're right.
I love seeing space. I've seen that a bunch of times,
All right.
but it's just these performances are really, really holding it.
Ariana Greenblatt is killing it.
They are so good.
It's also, shout out to Chloe Coleman, who I also adore,
Yeah.
and I was not expecting her to be in this movie, and she is, and I was very surprised and very happy because she's also very good in this movie. Ariana Greenblatt and Chloe Coleman are child actors that definitely have bright futures ahead of them in this industry.
Can you remind me what Ariana Greenblatt is in?
So many things. In the Heights, Love and Monsters,
Yeah,
Oh.
I know her from Love and Monsters.
she's Baby Gamora.
Oh, okay. I know who
I
she
always
is.
forget about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly who that is. Okay, got
But
it.
yeah, I think, like you said, the actors do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that. So when we saw the trailer, we kind of assumed that there would be some sort of twist as to how he ended up here and this and that. And the movie's like, no, we're just giving you a real straightforward story. Like, from the jump, they're like, here's the explanation.
Right.
Okay.
And they don't try and be like, here's a plot twist. It's almost like a better version of After Earth. Yeah, I like the effects. I think the effects are cool. I think that the production design, like the weaponry and stuff, is really cool. I think it's well shot. Like you said, the story is like, it's nothing new. It's nothing we haven't seen any before, especially in this age of like, this story fits in with the current trend of stoic father figure adopts surrogate daughter and must protect her at all costs.
Yeah. And
It's very Pedro Pascal.
yeah, so this is,
Well, yes, it is.
for me, it's not the movie's fault it came out when it did.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I've been watching The Last of Us for the last 9 weeks.
And I've been watching The Last of Us, and I've been watching The Mandalorian for the last like 3 years.
So it's just like, that is peak surly dad, new daughter. This is, in terms of the performances, is also great, but it's just
fantastic.
like the story isn't. I'm just like, man, I could be watching Last of Us right now.
But also, I like that Adam Driver's stoic dad is not nearly as stoic as Pedro Pascal's stoic dads are. Like he warms up a lot faster.
Yeah,
and it's probably because this is a movie and not a TV series.
Right, we don't have several episodes to get to melting his cold heart.
Yeah, no, and like several seasons.
Yeah, we got to melt this now. We got to go.
Exactly.
But I really like the emotional scenes with Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. I think they both do like a fantastic job of playing off each other, especially because unlike The Last of Us, there is a language barrier here.
True. And
Ariana Greenblatt is speaking some made-up language for this movie that Adam Driver's character does not understand. So there is kind of a, how do we communicate with each other and express the fact that we are growing fond of each other without having to speak the same language.
Which, like, there's little like technical things that bother me about this movie. I'm not bothered by the language barrier. I don't know how I would choose to execute it, but there's just certain scenes where I'm like, she don't understand you, bro. Don't tell her, hey, look at me. You're going to get yourself killed. She doesn't know what that means. Don't give her the rope and say, tie this to something safe up there. She doesn't know what that means.
I mean, she knew what it meant.
She did that despite not understanding what he said to her.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of the movie because it was
very cool.
The reaction in the audience was very good at that scene.
Yeah. But it's just, he's saying so many things that she doesn't understand. It's like, true. She doesn't. Stop. That's not how the language works.
I mean, he gestures whenever he's doing it. Like,
I do like when he really tries to get around, like when he does like mountain family up here, like we need to do this.
Yeah. And even when he does the tie this to something secure, he does kind of give her like a motion to be like this, like do this.
Please do this or I'm going to die.
Yeah. There is like one little cool, interesting plot thing that they did that I caught very early on in the movie. Like from the moment it first appears, I was like, oh, this is what we're doing with this movie. That's kind of cool. But the performances make it worth watching, in my opinion. And like, if you like this new trend of stoic dad takes care of surrogate daughter, well then this movie might be for you. I also really liked the fact that it did not take them long at all to tell you, here's this guy, here's what he wants, here's what he's doing, and here's why we want him to survive by the end of this movie. They did it in the span of one scene. They did it very well, and then we were on to the adventure.
Wow.
First scene was like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is what you need. All right, y'all ready? Let's go. Dinosaurs.
But like, well done.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent use of your time.
I was like, that's why this movie is only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
A nice quick one.
Very nice.
Shout out to Nika King as well. I actually really like her because she plays
his wife?
Yeah, she plays his wife. Okay. She also plays Zendaya and Storm Reed's mom on Euphoria, and she's fantastic on Euphoria.
Exactly who that is. I love her.
Nice.
I saw her pop up in that first scene, and I was like, you look familiar. What are you? Oh, yes. Okay.
Love it. Last thing I'll say, we got to stop with these jump scares that are just a branch fell. A scene transit. That made me mad. Like, it was funny. I was watching, I think it was a Cinefix video about like the art of the jump scare and how I'm kind of inherently opposed to them. Yes. But there are ways to do them well. There are ways to earn them. There are ways to set them up, blah, blah, blah.
And when they do them well, you appreciate them.
Right. So if a dinosaur jumps out of nowhere onto Adam Driver, I'm not mad at that. That is scary.
Oh, that was actually legitimately I jumped on that one.
Kayla screamed.
Yo, I would have. I got real close.
Screamed and did her little punches at the screen.
It was a really good jump scare.
Yeah.
Because Kayla's like a fight, not a flight person.
Right. We saw it with our niece, and our niece came out like, Kayla scared me more than the movie. They would do a jump scare. Kayla would jump and scream. Our niece would be like, oh God, what?
I for sure did not see that one coming. I just thought it was going to be your run-of-the-mill like shot of here's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, now I know.
Which is funny because as someone who watches a lot more horror movies, I'm very tuned into when they're going to do it. I'm like, okay, that's coming. I know it's coming. The ones that bother me are the ones that it's like a loud noise and a fake out. Mm-hmm. Like nothing scary happened. They're walking through trees. A branch fell off a tree. That happens.
I mean, I've seen that literally recently on one of my favorite TV shows.
And the one that really bothers me, there's a scene transition where the next scene is a rainstorm. Mm-hmm. And it's so loud that I'm like, did you just jump scare me with lightning?
That's real life, Dust. That's like real life. Dogs everywhere could relate.
Right? I feel like a dog on 4th of July.
People afraid of thunderstorms
they were seen.
They were seen in that moment. There was one fight scene that I thought was particularly interesting. I'm like pointing out like all the good things about this movie, like because I feel like the bad thing about this movie is that it's derivative, and that's about it.
But like That doesn't mean it's not good.
It doesn't.
Right?
It just like, but it's also just like Dallas said, it's not groundbreaking either.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be derivative, you have to do something like.
Yeah, for me, I don't hold that against it too much just because it doesn't feel derivative of anything specific. Just kind of like
a number of things that you've already seen.
Right, we've seen
together.
a lot of space, we've seen a lot of dinosaurs, we've seen this kind of concept, but it doesn't feel like they're ripping off a specific movie.
No, it doesn't.
So it's just, you're not super original.
It fits exactly into a specific genre.
Yeah, it was exactly what I expected it to be, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
Which is why I can't be like, oh, it was bad. I was like, nope, that was what I thought it was going to be. But there was a fight scene in there between Adam Driver and the dinosaur. A dinosaur, not the a dinosaur.
There's like the dinosaur.
There are several dinosaurs in this movie.
Okay, never mind.
But this movie does build tension very well, though. I will give them that. But there is one fight scene that I really loved because I thought it was a really interesting way of doing it, because you don't actually see him and the dinosaur. It goes to the gadget on the ground, and it's showing them fighting, and I was like,
okay, that's creative.
That's a creative way of doing it. It reminded me kind of the Suicide Squad when James Gunn shows us the fight through Peacemaker's helmet.
Yeah.
Instead of just showing us the straight up fight. I was like, ooh, we getting creative out here.
Right. I'm always down for stuff like that.
So I thought that was really, really cool. But this movie does some cool stuff. It also does some stuff that you've probably already seen before. If you're interested in the Stoic Dad stuff, this might be a movie for you. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe you just want to watch dinosaurs try and eat people for an hour and a half.
Yeah, you really like dinosaurs? Give it a shot.
You're like, I got an hour and a half to kill. Let's go 65.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was exactly what I expected it to be, and I'm pleased.
Love that.
Right.
Next up.
All right, on to the thing that we really, really did like.
Poker Face.
Poker Face, created by Rian Johnson, starring Natasha Lyonne and featuring everybody and their mama.
That's absolutely a good description of that.
Wow.
IMDb summary is, Charlie has an extraordinary ability to determine when someone is lying. She hits the road with her Plymouth Barracuda, and with every stop encounters a new cast of characters and strange crimes she can't help but investigate and solve. Yep. I really like the show.
I love this show so much. It's so good. And the funny thing is, I think I went into this show not actually knowing anything about what it was about, except that it was a murder mystery show. That was all I knew.
Yeah. I knew it had a bunch of dope people in it. I knew that Rian Johnson made it, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, okay, cool. Murder mystery. That's hot in the streets right now. I like a cool murder mystery. And man, just talking about these people. Benjamin Bratt, Adrian Brody, Dasha Polanco, Ron Perlman, a surprising amount of people who were in the menu. Hong Chow, the old couple, Judith Light and Reed Birney, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Everybody, Lil Rel Howery, like people from all different walks of whatever you watch.
Stephanie Shu's in there.
You're going to see somebody you like.
David Castaneda.
Of course, JGL's in there.
Yeah, you gotta have Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh yeah, he's required for Rian Johnson stuff.
Which happens to be like one of the few episodes that Ryan actually directed too.
Ooh,
nice.
That's why I need a JGL.
He's like, oh, I got you, my boy. You got to be in this one.
Is he in Glass Onion?
Yes.
Yeah, technically yes.
He's doing a voice.
Because that's how he was in Knives Out. He did a voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Onward.
It's just such a silly way
Dallas
for him
is
to
remembering
cameo.
exactly what he did.
What is it? Because I don't know what it is.
He's the dong.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's him.
That's so dumb. I love it.
It's so stupid.
I love it so much.
But yeah, Poker Face. So this shows like this are why I never subscribe to the mindset that like some people have about the first one to do something is inherently the best. Like people will talk about, oh, this movie is the best of this genre because it started it, and everything else is kind of pulling from that.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can build on it and make it better because this is very much like, you remember when we had regular TV and you go on USA and all the shows were procedurals with a quirky protagonist?
Yeah.
Like Psych.
Yeah.
He solves crimes and he's like hyper observant. Monk, he solves crimes. He has OCD. Suits, he solves crime. He's not a real lawyer or whatever that
Also, this show is, a lot of people have compared it to like the modern day Columbo.
I've heard that too.
Oh.
And yeah, it's a case of the week procedural, quirky protagonist. But with the way we watch TV today, Poker Face is allowed to be a lot better.
Yeah, it really is just better.
It's allowed to be the best version of that because you don't have the TV restrictions you would have on a network like USA. You can do more with the content. Rian Johnson's at the top of his game and the height of his power, you could say. It's just coming out today when it did, this show can be so much more than it would have if it was coming on after Psych or after Monk.
Got it.
On USA or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so good, man.
Yeah, and they just do it so well. Like, it's very formulaic, but that's clearly what it's supposed to be.
It's also part of the joy of watching it, because remember I posted that tweet in the group chat that was like, the best part of Poker Face is when the bad guy smirks and thinks they've gotten away with the murder, and then the guitar starts playing, and you just know Charlie's coming.
Okay, now I need to watch
and
this
it's
show.
always, once I started to pick up on the formula, I was thinking, okay, I get it. So now whenever I'm watching the beginning of an episode, I'm like,
where
does Charlie fit into this?
Exactly. By episode 3, I started going, so where's Charlie?
Right.
I think the barbecue episode, I was like, Charlie's at this barbecue somewhere right now. Where? What is she
I
doing?
was thinking, where? Because I think maybe not the second, because the second one still starts with her. I think it was the barbecue one. I didn't understand what we were doing. So,
yeah, because the second one starts with like totally new people who have nothing to do with the story that we've never met before. Because it's the one with the guy who falls off the rooftop.
Yeah, the subway.
Yeah,
she calls sandwich, and I was like,
what do we do?
Where's Charlie? What is this? And then that happened. Okay, cool. And then the third one starts with I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up where we are.
This works.
Charlie's gonna show up. Turn out to have been there already in some form or fashion. And it's
so good though. It's so fantastic the way that they pulled this off, and it's so fun. And then Natasha Lyonne, man,
she's great.
She's so I love Charlie so much. And I'm like, yo, I gotta watch what's that show that she was on? Russian Doll. I'm like, I gotta watch this now, because Natasha Lyonne is just so fantastic as Charlie. Like, from the start, from jump, she's just perfection as this character, and Charlie is just such a charming character as well. And like, it's always so exciting and exhilarating whenever she comes in, because you're like, yeah, she gonna solve this.
Also, with her particular
ability
quirk of, I can always tell when someone's lying, that's a really interesting premise in itself.
Yeah.
So the way that they use it, whenever someone lies, you're like, oh, Charlie, you got that right? And it's so much fun.
And her way of calling it out too, because she usually says the same thing every time somebody lies,
like almost involuntarily.
Yeah.
But, is it, oh my God, you're lying?
No.
Oh my God, you're lying. But there's one in particular, I think I was messaging you about it. The
prosthetics episode, wasn't it?
When a character says, oh, I had nothing to do with insert thing here. At that point, Charlie doesn't suspect this person at all. No. But once they say that, she has her reaction, and like the way you can see Natasha's face change, I was like, oh, that's an Emmy. Like, because she's smiling. She's like, oh yeah, didn't mean to bother you, whatever. And then the person says that, and then something goes off in her head, and just like the person's closing the door. So as the door is closing, you see her face changing, like, and then I was like, oh, that's good. That was really good. She's
amazing in this. And this show wouldn't work if it didn't have a leading actress who could like carry you through the entire story and make you care about her and want to follow her.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, she directed that episode.
Ooh. Did she?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Look at her.
We love to see it.
So proud of her.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Like you said, the guest stars are amazing. Like, it's almost like in the same vein as Knives Out and other murder mysteries in that regard. It's just like, let's get an ensemble of like amazing actors for every single episode that you probably know from somewhere else.
And since Rian Johnson's like at his peak right now, he probably get whoever he wants.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, Rian Johnson's on the phone for me. Patch him through.
He wants me for a TV show, just one episode. Yeah, I'll be there.
Or like, he wants me for a murder mystery. Cross fingers that it's another Knives Out movie.
Yeah, but Poker Face is just so good. And I like the fact that even though it's an episodic show, there is a serialized through line through the whole thing. Like, the first episode sets up exactly why Charlie is doing everything that she does throughout the rest of the season. And so there is a little bit of a tension of like, ooh, I hope that she makes it out of this, because you know that if she stays in one place too long, it's not going to end well for her.
Right.
And the season finale kind of ends us off in a place that still gives us a serialized kind of, this story is going to continue. But because she's doing this, now she's going to continue solving murders in other places too. And we get to continue the episodic fun of her solving murders and stuff, or attempted murders. Sometimes people don't die. But it's always very, very fun. It's a fun show. It's so well written. It's got great tension. The formula that they're using is really, really good. And Natasha Lyonne is just, she's fabulous as
she's great.
Charlie. Like, everything about this show, I can't think of one bad thing to say about this show, except that maybe there's only like 10 episodes right now.
Yes, which it did get renewed for season 2. So shout out to that. I will say this isn't really an issue I have with the show, but it's just an issue I have with Charlie as a character. Charlie got to be the dumbest smart person in the world, because how many times do you need to tell someone who kills people that you know they kill people?
Oh,
like,
Lord.
Charlie, shut up. If you know something about this person, like, for instance, they're freaking violent and they're capable of murder, don't let them know that.
I like that the first episode really does set up that part of her personality, though, of needing to help people, like that urge that she has.
I think the first episode might be the most annoying version of it because of the confrontation in that one. I was just like, what is your plan, Charlie? Like, how are you gonna get out of this?
But I like that he said Ryan sets it up, though, in that I think the first driving scene that she has with Dasha Polanco, where they're talking about helping people. And I think Dasha Polanco's character is like, no, I'm not going to help out in whatever situation they're talking about.
Right.
And like Charlie's like, no, you have to help people. Like that's her big thing. Like, they're really emphasizing the fact that Charlie wants to do good for the world and for people.
Yeah.
And so then when you watch the rest of the episode, you understand why Charlie has the impulse, no matter what situation she's in, that she has to help. She has to figure out who did this. Like, this is a misjustice. It must be solved and it must be done properly. And then she goes on about her daily life,
which is very like fortuitous that everywhere she goes, somebody gets murdered.
Wow, bummer. Question: is there a through line though through the show? Like, is there
the through line is it set up in the first episode. The first murder sets up the through line.
And then we circle back with the finale to sandwich all the fun in between.
Yes. Cool.
It's great. It's great.
Such a good show.
Also, shout out Ron Perlman, because he's in one episode. Yeah, well, vocally he's in
I guess his voice is in the first episode, but I didn't even realize that was him until the finale.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, Ron Perlman. They got Perlman on here? Cool. Yeah. And then I realized who he was playing, and I was like, oh, this is the phone call from the first episode.
Yeah. Ron Perlman's voice is like...
Yeah,
one of my favorite things in the world.
We also know because Danny Phantom. Like, it's hard.
Danny Phantom, Teen Titans, A Thousand Ways to Die. Like,
Batman the Animated Series.
Very prominent voice actor.
Yeah.
So he has the coolest voice. All of his lines hit so much because it's Ron Perlman. And I do love the fact that they did the phone call in the first one, and then in the finale you see it.
You bring it back.
Because I'm just like, man, it's hitting. It's hitting to see him say.
Yeah, that through line didn't go where I thought it was going to go, but it was very interesting, and I like that. And
Rian Johnson.
It's true. And Benjamin Bratt, also shout out to him.
He's super dope.
Fantastic job on the show too. He's like, if there's like a secondary like supporting character, like the closest thing to like another main character, it's Benjamin Bratt. However, he's only in like 3 or 4 episodes.
Right. I love him, and I've watched a lot of Modern Family, so I just have his character like in my head. But he's also played someone kind of cool in Modern Family.
He's not cool on Poker Face.
He's not good, but he's cool.
Okay,
he's chill. Yeah,
he's a cool character.
But he's a bad guy.
Got it.
I mean, you guys are Slytherins. You like evil people, so you
that
probably
is
think
not
it's pretty
what Slytherins like. We are ambitious.
I like ambitious. That's a choice.
Hush.
Listen, I've already told you what my parameters are in that section. All right, so.
Yeah, not so great with him. It's pretty bad. It's bad.
He doesn't even fit the parameters.
Right.
But yeah, the show is great. If you guys haven't watched Poker Face, it is on Peacock. Please check it out. It's already been renewed, but please check it out. It is a fantastic show. If you love murder mysteries, it totally fits into that. If you liked Knives Out, it fits into that as well, but it's done totally differently, which I love.
Yeah, and if you like Rian Johnson, you'll definitely want to see it.
I love that Rian Johnson has done like 4 murder mystery projects at this point, and they are all significantly different from one another, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because Knives Out is different from Glass Onion, and those two are both very different from Brick, and all 3 of them are very different from Poker Face.
Yeah.
That he knows. I feel like he knows that genre so well. He knows how to like mess with it and do his own thing with it, even from his previous own thing.
Yeah, like that's a man who clearly has studied the art of the murder mystery, and he does it so well.
It's like the Jordan Peele of murder mystery.
I like it.
What you been watching?
All right.
Oh my God, what have I been watching?
Here's something I finished like a month ago, but then the way these episodes line up, I just didn't talk about it. Hunters season 2.
Oh.
Yes. It's created by David Wheel, who created the shows Invasion and Solos. I don't know what those are. It stars Logan Lerman, Al Pacino, Jerrica Hinton, Lena Olin, Greg Austin, Kate Mulvaney, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and a bunch of other people. but I decided I gotta stop somewhere.
You're better than me. I'm not going to.
See, I see the list be super long on Wikipedia, but I just gotta cut it short.
Fair.
IMDb summary: in 1977 New York City, a troubled young Jewish man bent on revenge is taken in by a secret group of Nazi hunters fighting a clandestine war against the cabal of high-ranking Nazi officials in hiding who work to create the Fourth Reich. Pretty much, I mean, that's season 1, but season 2 is, let's remix it a bit, push it a few years later. Some stuff has happened. We're still hunting Nazis. The summary is they hunt Nazis. It's so good. It's a good show. This is the last season, unfortunate for me because I really like the show. But where they ended it, I'm with that. Great acting across the board. Logan Lerman's fantastic. I think since between season 1 of Hunters and season 2, I had watched Bullet Train like 3 times.
Damn.
And he just, he didn't do a lot in that. Not to spoil anything.
Yeah,
but it was good to see him actually doing stuff again. He's the protagonist. He's just so good. Al Pacino, very good. From the moment the show was announced, I was like, why is Al Pacino playing a Jewish guy? He's very Italian. Putting that aside, we spent season 1 becoming very endeared to Al Pacino's character. And then the finale, he does something that's not too cool. That is an egregious understatement, but I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen any of the show.
Okay.
But yeah, he does something crazy. And it basically undoes all of that endearment that we had. And then season 2 just kind of doubles down on ways that he's not great.
Ooh.
And I was, man, I really like this guy in the season that goes. But
not anymore.
Not anymore. He sucks. Greg Austin is an actor I wasn't familiar with. He plays Travis, an American Nazi who is a full-on psychopath. He is terrifying. Like, this actor is so good. I want to see him in more stuff. Hopefully something without... He's English. That's crazy. Hopefully something without Nazis.
They be tricking us.
What was his name?
Greg Austin.
He was in the Doctor Who spinoff Class.
Yes, he's in a bunch of stuff I haven't seen. And then Hunters. But yeah, he's the type to like just start singing show tunes before, during, and after killing you.
Oh, like he's like that guy in Clockwork Orange.
It does feel very Clockwork Orange, like Malcolm McDowell's character, whose name I can't remember.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, he's terrifying, but great acting from him. Josh Radnor, who everybody knows is Ted Mosby.
Mm-hmm.
I love him so much in Hunters.
He's in Hunters? That's
yes,
wild.
He's hunting Nazis now.
Of all the places for him to show up.
He was like my favorite character in the first season.
Okay. Very nice.
Just hilarious.
Oh my God, there he is.
Yeah, that's him. Lonnie Flash. This is just what you're watching, so I'm not going to take too much time. Just know it's a really good show. There's a couple things I wanted to point out. There's a character named Roxy. She's played by Tiffany Boone. The show takes place in the 70s. She's a black woman in the 70s New York. Got the afro, black power this, black power that.
Yeah.
And she gets in a situation kind of similar to the beginning of Black Panther when Sterling K. Brown is trying to break somebody out of prison.
Oh, okay.
And she has a little daughter.
Oh.
And she's talking to her dad, and this is probably my favorite scene of the whole show, or at least in season 2. And her daughter's name is Malika, and she says, she's talking about like what she wants to do, like, yo, you can't be doing stuff like this. It's dangerous. Stop trying to get locked up. Be smart. And he's talking about the causes that she chooses to fight for. And she says, Malika's my greatest cause. I'm just trying to make the world better for her. And then the dad says, that's the thing though. He says, that's the thing, sweetheart. You are her world. And when you try and save the world, you're putting her world at risk. You want to be a hero, be a mother. And it's just like, that's a bar right there. And it's real because it doesn't feel like one of those cliche scenes where the parents just like, you're doing the wrong thing. You need to be smart. Mm-hmm. He's like, listen, like, pay attention to what you're doing. You want to save the world, but you are the world to your daughter. You can't put your life at risk the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they intercut that with what's actually going on, because that's a flashback.
Okay.
But it hits. I'm so, ooh, Roxy. They better not kill Roxy. And then last thing I want to bring up is there's an actor named Nyasha Hatendi. I had never seen him before. And he's only in the final episode, but he plays a black Jewish lawyer who is presenting a case against a rather high-ranking Nazi. And like the way he plays the role is so passionate, which I love. And he has a monologue and he says, keep in mind, this is in the maybe like early 80s at this point in the show. But he says, one day they will find a new idol, a new fraud born out of some new means of mass communication, but peddling the same old lies of boogeymen and dying cultures and deep states. And we will counter him too. And whoo boy, that line hits in a time when, for some reason, anti-Semitism is just like
it's just
running
here.
rampant in the present day.
Mm.
Like, the dumbest of white people are marching in the streets, talk about Jews will not replace us. And it's just
not right.
Clearly the line is written with that stuff in mind.
Yep.
And this is the kind of stuff that I like, because a lot of people will say, well, you don't have any subtlety in your writing and you should really be you're too on the nose with your social commentary.
Yo, I saw some tweet recently that was saying that you should stop saying the theme of your movies or your shows in the actual show or movie, and it's like, no, that's
No.
the point.
Right. Like, how
There's literally,
you don't need to be subtle when
there's
you're
a
combating
plot
things
beat.
that are very overt.
Yeah, there's a plot beat called Theme Stated, so that you guys know what this movie's about, and you guys ignore it every single time. I swear.
Right. And then, not sorry to say it this way, but people are dumb and they don't understand certain things are wrong. We have to spell it out for them. We have to tell you, hey, anti-Semitism is bad. Black Klansmen had to tell you, hey, racism is bad.
Yep.
So yeah, don't be subtle. Yell everything at these idiots. But
Although I do appreciate subtlety sometimes.
Definitely, there's a place for it.
There's a place
but
for it. It's not now.
A necessity in situations like this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Hunters.
Ooh.
Gabby, what you been watching?
Okay. I have been watching a Korean drama. It is called Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
I've heard of that one.
It's adorable. Okay. So
a lot of reactors that I watch have been reacting to that show.
Okay.
And I think I have other friends who have watched it as well.
So Extraordinary Attorney Woo follows Woo Young-woo, a female rookie attorney who has autism, and she's hired by a major law firm in Seoul. She was like the top of her class in law school, and she went to one of the highest ranked schools in South Korea. I can't remember the name of the school, but it's a real school, and it is like one of the top schools. There's like 3 schools that are like the best of the best in Korea that like everybody wants to get into. And she got into one and she became a lawyer. But because she has like a very visible form of autism that does interfere a little bit in her life, she, even though she was the top of her class, was like unhireable to like other law firms.
Right.
But this particular law firm did eventually hire her. And it's about her like sort of dealing with learning how to be a lawyer, learning how to present, or like, and then learning how to work with her team and how to, she's like hyper focused on whales. Like whales are her thing. She loves them. She also has
whales, like
an
the animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she like has an eidetic memory, like a perfect.
I was like the people.
And she has like a photographic memory. So not only can she like perfectly like cite laws, and the way that they show that on the screen is so interesting. They like show a bunch of pieces of paper or like a bunch of information, and then like as she's talking about it, they like circle what she's talking about. So cool. It's almost like you're seeing what she's seeing in her head.
Right.
It's really cool. And then they'll have like whales just like flowing, and then when she has an epiphany, it's just like a close up on some dolphins or like a whale in the ocean, and you're like, oh, she just had an epiphany. Yes. She's about to save this case. Nice. And like what I like about it is she's very visibly autistic, but she's also incredibly intelligent. She has friends. She has a life. There is like one point where she gets a little bit like discouraged. I haven't finished the whole I was gonna call it a novela. I haven't finished the drama yet.
Right.
About 10 episodes in, but there's one point where she's like, she has like an autistic client, and they were trying to argue because of how severe his autism was, he couldn't have actually done the crime that he was being accused of. And then the court, like the state, because they're defense attorneys, the state was arguing then that she couldn't be an effective lawyer if she had autism, which is fucked up. Wow. But she's like, oh no, what am I doing here? And she basically like quit, and they were like, no, like we need you back. Like you can't just quit. But it's really great. Like I don't think she's played by an autistic person, so there's like some sort of not amazing, but like this is probably one of the first portrayals of someone autistic prominently in South Korea. And it actually did a lot to teach people. Like she would explain like, I'm autistic, I do not like hugs, and then she, like, you know, stuff like that. She's like, oh, for autistic people, X, Y, and Z is difficult, and she would explain herself to the clients and let them know what's up with her, but like that she'd work really hard for them. So it's really cute. It's adorable. Her whole room is just whales, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And she has like the cutest whale accessories. Oh, and Anyway.
So the lead actress is not autistic and felt a little reluctant to take the role. However, she did consult with the director, the writer, and autism specialist before taking it.
Nice.
Yeah. And let me say who it's starring. So it's starring Park Eun-bin, Kang Tae-oh, and Kang Ki-young. I haven't watched any dramas that they're in because I haven't watched Korean dramas in like 7 years. So the like main actors and things have significantly changed. But I'm looking forward to watching them in more things because they are all great actors and I like them all.
Nice.
Going to another country, I watched Top Boy and Top Boy Summer House, technically. It was created by Ronan Bennett and it stars Ashley Walters, Kano, Michael Ward, Jasmine Jobson, Little Sims, and it also features some faces that you guys might know before they were super famous, like Sharon Duncan Brewster, Benedict Wong, and Letitia Wright. Nice. And it also has Adjoa Aboa and Aaron Kellyman.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes. The IMDb synopsis is 2 London drug dealers ply their lucrative trade at a public housing estate in East London. The show started in 2011 with 4 episodes and another 4 in 2013 on Channel 4 in the UK. And those 8 episodes make up Summer House. And then Netflix brought back the show in 2017 when Drake expressed interest in executive producing the show. So shout out to Drake because this show is dope. It is.
What's the face, Gabby?
Hey,
you know how I feel about Drake.
I know how you feel about Drake. But listen, the man brought back a very good show. If like I haven't seen Snowfall, but if you're interested in shows like that, it's Top Boy is a crime drama,
right?
So if you're interested in shows like Snowfall, you'll probably be super interested in Top Boy. I know that Snowfall is ending this season, and I know that Top Boy is getting another season. So you guys have time to catch up before another season comes out, and it'll be fantastic. But yeah, it's a really great show. A lot of great performances. The characters are very intriguing. I feel like when we talk about English shows or British shows, there's a lot of shows that don't have a lot of people of color in them. This show is comprised predominantly of Black British people, which is very cool and very rare to see. And all of them do an amazing job on this show. The storylines are interesting. Like I said, it's a crime drama. It's very rare for crime dramas not to be interesting.
Crime is interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's also very interesting to get to see a crime drama from the perspective of a different country. Yeah. So like, you kind of know what to expect from American crime dramas, but like an English crime drama, like they handle things differently, or they have
knives and guns.
They're a lot more stabby than we are.
They have guns on the they guns on the show too. Obviously, they breaking laws and stuff.
The criminals got guns.
No, I know. It's just making a joke.
But also there's like their relations with other people in other countries doing the same work and having to work alongside them to do certain things. The things that they like, what they call their drugs out there.
Yeah,
because it's not like, we've got certain names for them. I think in the show they call it lunch or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, do they call it something really whimsical like the English do with a lot of stuff? Like
like food or something like that. Like it's something food related. Like it's like, oh, where's the food at? Or like something like that. And so when they talk about it, like it took me a minute when I started the show to understand what they were talking about. Because I was like, I was like, lunch in it. I was like, what are you guys? Why do they keep talking about food? Right. And then I was like, oh no, that's their word for drugs. Okay, cool. I'm on board. It's so much
fun watching British stuff and learning as you go.
You're like, we live in different countries.
Yeah, like our words for things are so different, bro.
What do we call trees? There we go.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of weed.
But also like their way of like their different slang things, or like their different like cultural behaviors and stuff like that. Like they do like the kissing your teeth a lot on that show. It's a lot of
Oh, interesting.
Like, so much of that on the show. And they all do it. I was like, this is just a cultural thing. That's cool. I got to learn more about like English estates as well, which are things that I had heard about. Some of my favorite English actors grew up on estates, and I never quite understood what that meant. Because out here, an estate is like a good thing.
Yeah.
But out there, it's not.
Oh, it's like the project.
It's the project. It's the hood.
I did not know that.
Okay.
It's like it is the projects for them. So I was like,
not like The Gentleman.
No.
Not that though. Remember how he was like going to different houses for rich people?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, so not like that. No, these are like legit, like these people live in the projects. They live in the hood. That's what their estates are. It's very interesting because I think they always have like Ashley Walters plays like the leader of his crew. Okay. And it's always very interesting because you've got these adult characters who are selling drugs. And you're like, yeah, of course, they sell drugs. Like, they're adults, blah, blah, blah. They always bring in kids.
Of course.
And like, so there's always kids in every season who you're watching like sell drugs and get involved in the drug game and like why they get involved. And I sent it to the group chat. I was like, it's wild to watch a show about drug dealers and be like, oh my goodness, no, they're doing bad things. And then to see these kids get caught up and you're like, oh no, don't sell drugs. But also they found a family. Oh my gosh, I love that for you. You found people to love rough. You regardless. But also you guys sell drugs. Like,
stop selling drugs.
You guys are criminals. Oh my gosh. It's such a good show. And like I said, the first 2 seasons are only like 4 episodes. The last 2 seasons are like 10 or something like that.
Okay.
Jasmine Jobson, who comes in season 3 and 4, plays my favorite character, Jack. Jack is so cool, but also recruits kids. But Jack is so cool. Jack is amazing. It's definitely my favorite character out of everybody. And shout out to her character for pulling Adjoa Aboa, because wow. What? There were some moments there where I was like, girl, don't mess it up. What are you doing? What are we doing? No, call her back. But yeah, it's a fantastic show. It's on Netflix. All 4 seasons are on Netflix. Make sure you guys watch Summer House first and then watch Top Boy. I made the mistake of watching the first season of Top Boy first. And then my dad was like, no, you were supposed to watch Summer House first. And I was oh no. So then after watching the first season under Top Boy, I had to then go find Summer House, which is also on Netflix, and watch all of those and then go back to watch what is technically season 4.
Gotcha.
So
this definitely feels like a show I would be into.
It's so fun.
It's just
well, I don't know if fun is the word for this, but like it would be fun to talk to you about though.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you brought up Snowfall because of course Damson Idris is very British.
Everybody on this show is very British, but they're not pretending to be American.
Now he's on Snowfall playing a dude from like South Central Los Angeles.
Yeah. This show also has some really good plot twists and stuff in there.
It reminds me of that which one of you sent that thing to the chat about when British actors are
Wait, what?
It was like when British actors are playing like American criminals. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm that nigga in the streets, And then they call cut and he's like, all right, go take it.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was hilarious.
I was like, that's exactly what it's like, except on this show, they're all British, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no cut.
It's just like, there's a cut. It's just, they're just nicer. But yeah, it's a really good show. Highly recommend. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. And it doesn't take too much of your time. I watched this show in like the span of maybe 3 or 4 days. So, but I also binge things like a maniac. So it's taking me a while to get through You though. But it's because I have so many other things to watch outside of it that I don't have time to just sit and like completely consume it.
Fair.
But yeah, that's Top Boy.
Nice.
Trailer tracking. Let's do this, shall we? All right, first trailer up.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Hey.
So before the trailer came out, the cast came out, and I decided that's awesome. I have to see it. And then the trailer came out
the day after.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, because we talked about this on the podcast. We talked about the cast.
I think our episode like came out the day after they released the teaser, and I was very upset about that.
Yes, but
that's exactly why we're not going to have that problem with the Little Mermaid trailer.
Right.
Forget that.
But this trailer's so cool. They sound like kids. They sound like teenagers. They act like teenagers.
I love
and that's all I want because it's the first thing in the name, and it's usually a bunch of grown men sounding like grown men. Gabby's asking to answer your off mic question.
Yeah.
Nicholas Cantu is Leonardo. Shimon Brown Jr. is Michelangelo. Micah Abbey is Donatello. Brady Noon is Raphael.
Okay.
Was Gabby not in the episode where I said all this?
I
think
feel like she was,
but I don't recognize those kids. I'm looking at them now.
I think the only one you might know is Brady Noon because he was in Good Boys.
But I don't know if you saw Good Boys with us.
I
did. I saw it with.
Well, then that means she saw it with me. I was with you guys.
Then we all saw it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Brady Noon is the one.
Yeah.
Who's not Jacob Tremblay and also not black.
Yeah, got it.
He was the aggressive one.
Yes. Which makes sense because Raphael is the aggressive turtle.
Oh.
Audience, I am surrounded with people who don't know anything about Ninja Turtles.
You right. I did look up which turtle was which though, and which had which personality after we had talked about it.
Which I do want to talk about that as well because this trailer, unlike another trailer that we'll talk about in a second, it doesn't give away too much and it's not super long. So they do things quickly.
It's a teaser trailer as well.
Yeah. So you get a sense of who they are because Raph is the riled up one who's like, let's do this with Ninja Stars, go. Donatello is the tech guy. That's why he's the one recording on his phone.
That makes sense.
Leo is the first one to check to see what went wrong when they throw the Ninja Star off the roof because he's the leader. He's the responsible one. And just knowing those things, it's so cool to see them like give a little hint of their personalities. And Michelangelo is just, he's the silly one. He's the fun one. which it seems like they're all going to be silly now, which I love. I love the use of Can I Kick It? Beautiful. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just such a 90s thing. So to use Tribe Called
Which is
Quest,
funny because it came out in the 80s.
Yeah, but like
it feels so 90s.
The collab
if you
with
grew
the
up in
Power
the 90s,
Rangers.
you were about
Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
a lot of
Transformers.
people were.
There was a collab.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. The cast is amazing.
Permanent teenager Seth Rogen, which cracks me up, and I'm like, you mean the same man who produced Pam and Tommy last year?
Listen, he has range. But I feel like when he's on screen, even though he has been in several at this point award-winning, like very highbrow award-winning, he was in the Fablemans this year, but like people think of him as like knocked up. You know, they think of him as like super bad, like all that stuff.
He's also amazing in Pam and Tommy, for the record, because he also is one of the stars of that show. Yeah. But yeah, also Seth Rogen, his producing roster is ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's got really great projects on there.
Like The Boys, what is it?
The Boys, Pam and Tommy.
What's the one that he did? It starts with a P. Preacher. Wasn't he also one of the producers for Legion?
I don't know. I didn't watch Legion.
But like
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This looks really fun. Like I had no interest in this movie until I watched the teaser, and now I'm like, oh, this looks cute. I actually want to watch this.
Like so much fun.
I was like, this looks like fun. The animation style is very like unique, but also still kind of reminds me of Into the Spider-Verse a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes, the animation. I want to talk about that. It's so cool. I like that more and more they're doing this sort of like where it looks kind of drawn, but it's very obviously like digital. They also did it in the new Puss in Boots movie.
I like the direction animation is taking, where we're kind of experimenting with different styles.
Yes.
I've said it before. Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite animation style of right now. Arcane is my second favorite animation style.
Ooh, I have to check that one out.
Arcane is gorgeous. On like. If Into the Spider-Verse didn't use so many different types of art forms within its animation, Arcane might be my favorite animation style.
Nice.
But Into the Spider-Verse is just so ambitious with what it does. But yeah, this animation style is like up there too. It's really interesting to look at. It's really nice. I like the way that it looks, so I'll be interested to see it in a theater.
Yeah, I can't wait. Also, is her name Ayo or Ayo?
I was about to mention her. Shout out to Ayo.
Ayo, okay.
Edibiri, I love her.
Yeah, playing April O'Neil.
Yes.
Who might end up on my actors list this year?
Me too, because she's like the bear. I feel like this is from the bear, and I love that she's getting worked.
But also, Bottoms just had its premiere this past weekend, and based on the reviews, that movie just jumped so high up my most anticipated movies of this year list. Plus, Ruby Cruz is apparently third billed, which means that she has a heavy role in there, so I'm excited about that.
Amazing.
But yeah,
question: what is that one about?
That was the one we were talking about with the Fight Club and the cheerleaders and the
that's what it is.
Losers.
Got it.
Yeah, I was reading reviews for that one, and they're saying that it's like there are people who are like, I haven't laughed this hard at a movie in a long time, and the director described it as like super queer, super bloody, and super horny, and I'm like, yes, let's go for it.
Sounds like to me and Gabby will very much enjoy it.
Woo! But also it's getting some comparisons, so Not Another Teen Movie, Fight Club, obviously, and there was another one that I saw, another good comparison to another like outrage. Oh, Superbad.
Oh,
I can see that. That makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah,
these are all good things.
Yeah, these are all great things. So I'm excited for that movie to come out. But yeah, her name is popping up everywhere. She's gonna be in Thunderbolts next year.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
So, oh my god, that movie really is.
Her name really
for you.
Oh yeah, I told you. I've never seen her in anything though. To be fair.
Oh my god, so you gotta watch her in The Bear. And if you watch this week's Abbott Elementary.
Oh, that's okay, but barely. I haven't seen it. Actually, I haven't watched this week's Abbott Elementary yet.
Spoilies.
But she had that one phone call scene that I've seen.
Right, you've seen it in that scene.
Yeah, earlier. But she didn't do enough for me to be like, oh yes.
No, she's much better in this.
But from what I hear, she's great, and
she's amazing.
Man, she's becoming like a big name at this point. She's popping up everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my god,
it's insane. But yeah, she might make my actors list for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Bottoms, which are two very different films.
Yes, we have the fun, family-friendly animation, and then we have
the fun, adult, mature.
The movie for the Horny Hive. Also, speaking of Ayo and her character, that's why I said shout out to the Horny Hive, because of Demi's catchphrase, make movies horny again.
I didn't come up with that. That was the internet.
Oh, fair. In terms of this podcast, it's Demi's catchphrase.
I say it more often.
Yeah.
Somebody has to.
I get another opportunity to yell at idiots on the internet. So
April O'Neil,
everyone's mad because she's not white and she's not redheaded.
Turns out.
April O'Neil originally was not white and not redheaded. She was originally with dark hair, and the guy who created her stated that he based her off of his mixed race girlfriend. So, y'all are loud and wrong.
And we love when you're loud and wrong so
Just-
that we can tell you that you're loud and wrong.
Yep.
Just shut up. Because even if she was originally a white redhead, so what? Get over it. Stop being losers on the internet.
Oh, man.
There's so many things you can do on the internet.
And we're
that
going to
are
talk
fun.
about another white redhead that is now black in a little while, too.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So, stop being losers. Go outside. Or
Touch grass.
stay inside and just be better. But yeah, I'm
or
excited.
educate yourselves.
Right.
All
I
right.
love it.
See.
I love
Next
it.
up,
All right.
a much longer trailer.
The 3-minute trailer for Ghosted.
So excited.
I think it's probably 3 minutes because that's probably the only trailer they're going to give this movie, to be honest.
I
Because
hope
fair.
so,
Comes out next
because
month.
yeah, because
anymore-
streaming movies don't typically do 2 trailers. They're like, you get 1 trailer and that's it. You're done.
Right.
Honestly, they gave us so much in this one. I'm like, give it, give me some mystery. Like, I don't want to know
Pull
everything.
back a
with this.
little bit, guys.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see the 3rd act.
Right, exactly. Showed me all 3 acts.
The first thing I said to you guys after I watched this trailer was that I can see why Scarlett Johansson was originally in the role that Ana de Armas was playing.
Yeah.
Or is playing.
Yeah.
Because I legitimately was listening to Ana de Armas speak and would immediately hear Scarlett Johansson saying the lines. Like, I was
Ooh.
like, oh, yeah, I see it.
And also her character.
Yeah. I was just like, oh,
Like a
Black
spy.
Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also because of Scarlett and Chris's relationship, they're really good friends. They're the co-stars who have worked the most with each other for both of them.
Yeah.
They've been working together since like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they've done so many movies together, including the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So I was
They've
like,
done like more than 10 movies together.
yeah. And the only reason that Scarlett's not in it and is no longer executive producing is because she had a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
However, if you've listened to our podcast before, you know that I also love Ana de Armas.
Yes.
She's the reason why I sat through 3 hours of Blonde.
Goodness, what a
I
choice.
can't do that. I will end up a puddle.
Ana
on
de
the floor.
Armas, I did that for you and your wonderful performance because you did fantastic.
Gabby, what do you mean by that?
Like a sad puddle.
Got it.
And
I wanted
it'd be
to
hard to
clarify.
put me back together.
Because
Not
sometimes
a thirst
Got it.
puddle.
See,
You might have been a little bit of a thirst puddle.
Yeah, but not enough. Like
Not enough, though.
From Colin Farrell's his Golden Globe speech where he told Ana de Armas that she broke his heart and her feet at the end. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm never watching that movie. Like,
You don't want to. It's just sad all the way through. Yeah, Ana de Armas is phenomenal, and I've been saying this since Blade Runner 2049. I will continue to say it as long as she is acting. She is a great actress. She has such great screen presence, and I am excited to see her take on this action role. I don't think Ana de Armas ever saw herself as becoming this type of leading lady, but she is now, and she's good at it, and I'm excited about that. I will love watching her play a leading role where she's the action girl.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans is Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's being charming, and I like this role for him where he's just like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm excited to watch him like stretch out his acting or his comedy chops because he doesn't get to do that very often. He has to play
I would
stoic.
argue that it's not that he doesn't do it very often. I feel like he's actually going back to his roots of being in rom-coms all the time. That's what Chris Evans was known for before
Yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Now we just know him as Somebody asked me recently, they were like, what was Chris Evans known for before
actually,
Captain America?
no,
and I was like,
no.
rom-coms.
No. Well, maybe for me, he was like more in like
Wasn't he also
comic
in-
stuff? It was like comic stuff and
Yeah.
rom-coms, but it was like
But also, wasn't he in Not Another Teen Movie?
yeah,
Which
but that
literally
was
we
like
just referenced.
the very first movie. that
But also, he was in The Perfect Score.
Yeah, he was
also
in
a
Perfect
comedy.
Score.
The
Nanny
Nanny Diaries with Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
which is a rom-com.
Yeah.
What's Your
always
Number?
that range though.
Yeah,
He did-
Well,
in,
he
like,
did
Cellular,
push
Push.
The Losers.
Yeah, he
Scott
always had-
Pilgrim.
That was when he started
Both
getting
sides.
more into the action side of that, and
Yeah.
that was around the same time that Captain America kind of happened for him. But
Yeah, it
before
was the lead
those,
up, yeah.
before those, he was very much well known for like "What's Your Number" and stuff.
Oh
and
yeah,
movies
What's Your
like
Number?
that.
What's Your Number was like, yeah, it was like immediately after Captain America and like
Yeah.
right before what's the name of that movie? Avengers.
They were like, "You want a really hot love interest who can come off as smart or dumb or whatever you want him to? Chris Evans is the
Yeah,
guy
just
for you."
plug in this random white boy.
He was also apparently in TMNT.
Oh yeah, he was. He was the
Casey
voice
Jones.
of. Yeah, he was
That's
Casey
really funny.
Jones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did know
Yeah.
that.
He's
'cause
had
I
lots of
know
range.
his whole
But yeah,
filmography.
I'm excited.
Of course you
This looks like a fun, and the funny thing is, this is not just it's the meeting of the two for Chris Evans. It is both an action movie and a rom-com.
Yes.
So it'll be and it's probably why he's executive producing. But it'll be fun to see those two worlds collide in this movie. I'll watch it. I've been excited about this movie since it was announced, so I'm definitely going to watch it.
I just remembered why I was excited for this movie because it's written by the people who gave us the Deadpool movies.
Yep.
And the people who gave us the new Spider-Man movies.
Ooh.
Which, like, what a team to have.
Yeah.
Because I love all those guys. To to say their names. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick are Deadpool and Zombieland, I think. And then Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are Spider-Man, Lego Batman, New Jumanji.
That means the comedy in this is going to be top tier.
Great.
Like,
I can't wait.
I'm
excited again. I forgot that they were writing it because I think when it was announced.
Yeah, that was like one of the first things that it was announced.
I was like, ooh, I like these actors. I like these writers.
Yeah, it was like them as the writing team, Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. And it was just like, yep.
I was like, I'm
great. I'm on board.
And then when Scarlett was out, they were like, Ana de Armas. And I was like, I am still in.
I was too. I was like, you still have me. I'm still here.
And then I didn't realize it was going to be an action movie because all the like paparazzi photos we got was of them being romantic. So I was just like, what is this? I was like, is it just going to be she stops talking to him and it's going to be romantic? Like, what is this?
I mean,
turns out to be amazing and action filled, and I'm excited.
Spy. I just want her to be able to pull off what she pulled off with Paloma in 007 with her 10 minutes of screen time, and it was like one of the best parts of that movie.
I finally watched that movie.
Oh, she's so good.
She's so good. When she's like, I've had 3 weeks training, I was just like, you're
adorable.
Oh, anyway.
Also, I love her in The Gray Man, and now they're going to be on the same side because in that movie they were on opposite sides.
They were on opposite sides.
Aren't they?
I forgot she was in that action movie.
I did too. I'm trying to say
forgot the right Gray Man.
She's trying to compete with Scarlett for the most amount of times I've acted with Chris Evans.
Right, they're already in 4 movies together. This is number 4, number 3.
Knives Out, Gray Man, Ghosted. Is that it?
Yes, I think that's it.
Number 3. Got a hat trick.
She's got 3. Scarlett's at like 8
12.
or something like that. So
we'll count that up later.
Yeah, we'll count that
I think
later.
it's like 12.
Scarlett said something ridiculous.
Right. Also, shout out to Mustafa Shakir, aka Bushmaster.
Hey.
Love to see him popping up.
I think Ben Gorman is also in this movie. I really like Ben Gorman.
Nice. Also, this movie's longer than expected. It is 149 minutes.
Oh my God.
Not what I expected for.
What is that? That's
Ghosted, yeah.
2 hours and
2.5, basically.
2.5? That is longer than I anticipated.
Right. But hey, I'll be on the couch. So I'm chilling.
Too.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I accidentally actually guessed correctly the number of movies they've been in together.
8. Nice. I thought it was like 12.
No, off the top of my head, I literally was just guessing 8, and I think I'm actually correct. They've done like 6 MCU movies together and 2 movies outside of the MCU together.
Oh, it was 6?
Yeah, because
2 movies outside the MCU. I thought it was 3.
No,
Nanny Diaries, Perfect Score.
I don't think there's another one outside of that. But yeah, pretty sure it's 8. I went to her IMDb and counted up all the ones that I know that Chris Evans is in.
It's funny because Demi is the Scarlet Authority and Gabby is the Chris Evans Authority. So between the two of you definitely got it. And I am neither. So like they'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, it's somewhere around there. It's like 8.
Look at his filmography.
It would have been 9 had this movie worked out the way that they thought it was going to. But Schmigadoon. Let's talk about Schmigadoon. I love Schmigadoon. It was one of my favorite shows the year it came out, which I want to say was last year. I love that show so much. It's so funny. As somebody who is a huge avid musical and musical theater fan, probably not as much as most avid musical theater fans that you meet, but I do love musical theater. Just this show is perfection to me. It's brilliantly done. All the parody songs are catchy and funny. And the cast is so stacked with people from Hollywood, but also people who have done Broadway. It's what I want out of a musical. Like when people say, like when Hollywood's like, we're going to make a musical movie. I'm like, yeah, cast people who I know have the vocal range and talent to do it, who I know have the stage presence, but also can be on screen as well.
Right.
There are enough of those actors out there that you can do that. And Schmigadoon pretty much proves that. I'm a huge fan of Cecily Strong from her time on Saturday Night Live. Not that I was watching every week, but whenever I would watch episodes, Cecily Strong was always, pun not intended, one of the strongest people on the show. Keegan-Michael Key, I mean, I think we all love him on this podcast. He's fantastic.
He's so great.
And I love his character because his character doesn't like musicals. So there's also like that aspect for people who don't like musicals. There's that person you can relate to who thinks that all of this musical nonsense is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
When they announced that there was going to be a season 2, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know where you can take the story from here, except to not have Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key's characters be in it and just bring us a new set of a new couple to try and fix their relationship in Schmigadoon. But I'm really excited to see what they've actually come up with, which is Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key are still on the show. They're still our leading players. And they're trying to get back to Schmigadoon so that they can feel the same happiness that they discovered while they were there. And instead they end up in Chicago. And the moment I heard that, I was like, yo, I'm dying. I'm so in, bro.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm
Me too.
so excited for that. Dove Cameron and Ariana DeBose dressed up in Chicago-esque attire.
Oh my God.
Like, Chicago might be the sexiest musical ever made.
Dove Cameron.
And everybody just decked out in Chicago wear is
Question.
everything I want.
Yes.
Is Dove the one who slaps her ass on the stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
In the bob.
She's also the one,
Yes.
if you have ever seen season 1, if you haven't seen season 1, she has a song where she's talking about she's gonna wait until she's a bride to have sex, and she's doing the song with Keegan Michael Key, who cannot figure out how old she is. and
Oh my God.
and the entire time it's just nothing. She's doing all sorts of sexual innuendos with food.
And
so
it's like Let's Duet.
Which one is it?
Have you seen Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox?
Oh, yes.
So she's got like a cream pie.
Oh,
And she like puts the cream on her finger and like sucks the cream off of her finger. It's ridiculous. Like, but the song is like, I'm gonna wait until I'm a bride, but she's doing all of this stuff, and it's just like, I
Yeah,
still
He's
don't.
like, and how long will that be?
Well, it's so funny because he's just like, I don't know how old you are. Like, are you legal? Are you
Right. Is
not
this okay?
legal?
Yeah.
And every time he asks, or like every time he gets a hint, it still doesn't give him any answer as to whether or not
That's
she
like
is.
When Hitchcock they play Scully on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he talks about going out with Kelly, and they couldn't figure out if Kelly was his wife or his dog.
Oh, right. They're like,
And-
who's Kelly?
and none of his answers help.
Schmigadoon is a phenomenal show. It's on Apple TV Plus. If you've never watched it, please watch it. The first season is only 6 episodes.
Ugh.
Because of what Dove was playing in the last season, and even Ariana DeBose's character, who was playing a school teacher, like the really nice school teacher person, because all of them are going to have to change their archetypes for this upcoming season, I'm so curious as to how they'll, like, what their characters are going to be this time around, if they'll even have the same names for that matter. And then Titus Burgess Jr., I think is his name. He's going to be on this season, and I've seen him sing before, and he's fantastic. And also, he's very funny. He's also very great for GIF reactions to things. So,
I've seen him in quite a lot of gifts.
yeah, Kristen Chenoweth is on the show. Aaron Tveit, and these are names for people who are big into Broadway.
Yeah.
Jaime Camille is on it, and he's also really great. Jane Krakowski. Yes, Jane Krakowski. She is phenomenal as well. Like, this whole cast is just stacked, and it's so funny. It's so well written. The people who write it clearly know their musicals, and they know them very well, which is why they're able to parody them so very well. So whether you're into musicals, or even if you're not into musicals, there's something for everybody in this show if you're into comedy. So Schmigadoon season 2, I'm super hyped for that show to come back. Beginning of April 5th, I think they said. Oh, that's so soon. I'm so excited.
Yep, April 5th.
Yes.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yep.
Speaking of
So
comedies, though, Only Murders in the Building season 3. Let's go. I'm the only one who's watched it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't seen season 2. I do love that show, though. I have season 1.
Like, Colin and
I'm pulling
Gabby
a
were the
Colin
ones
right
who
now.
like loved that show, and I also adored that show in season 1. All 3 of us loved it. I'm the only one who watched season 2.
That's what happens when you watch shows with Colin and Gabby.
You know, right?
Although Gabby's usually not a full-on Colin.
Yeah.
Colin was straight up not. He'll love a show and then just not watch the next season.
Yeah.
No,
We'll see what happens with Shadow and Bone.
I'm getting on the
Colin level.
No, I'm trying to get back to watching it. I just get so distracted.
That's fair.
This was a really short, just 30-second teaser that I think they played probably like before the Oscars, just because, you know, the Oscars are on ABC. Hulu is half owned by Disney. So yeah, of course, it's the opportunity to give your sneak peek at season 3, which is mostly just the reveal of Meryl Streep on the show, more so than anything else, which is fine. I'm very excited about Meryl Streep being on the show. This is like the second time I've ever seen her in a TV show. And I'm very curious as to who she'll be playing. It looks like she's going to be playing an actress in the play that Martin Short's character is directing and starring in alongside Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is at the end of season 2. I will not spoil what happens that kind of brings him onto the show because Gabby still has not watched season 2 yet.
Yes, please don't.
But I'm very excited. Another great murder mystery show, and that's done very differently than Knives Out or like Poker Face, for instance, because it's from the point of view of true crime podcasters, and it's just so fun.
Yes, so good. Oh, and I love a true crime podcast. I do love the perspective of the show. It's great.
Yeah, it's
so quirky.
Yeah, it's a fun, weird perspective to take it from. Just these 3 ordinary people who there's nothing like, it's not like Charlie, who Charlie has like a specific gift about her. Yeah. These are just 3 regular people who are just like, we like true crime podcasts and we just like solving murders for our True Crime podcast because we've listened to so many of them. And it's so fun because, obviously they're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to get red herrings that they're also going to fall for because that's the way that this goes.
Yeah.
So that show is just so much fun, and I'm excited to see season 3 come back, especially with acting talents as Meryl Streep. Like, wow, you guys got it was already
top tier.
For me, it was already a big thing that they had gotten Paul Rudd, and I was like, yo, that's really dope that you guys got Paul Rudd. And then when they announced that Meryl Streep was going to be on the show, I was like, yo, what's going on this season? What are we doing?
Right? And also, what's annoying is like,
what's the budget?
Right? What is the budget? It's like, have you seen those Merge Mansion commercials?
Yes.
They all have like Pedro Pascal's in the most recent one, and like everybody in the comments is like, what is the budget for Merge Mansion? Like, how would they have everybody?
How much money are y'all spending on these? I just want to know.
Right?
I need to understand. Only Murders in the Building. I'm super excited. And hopefully Gabby and Colin will catch up. Well, Colin will not catch up before season 3, but hopefully Gabby will catch up before season 3.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I believe in you.
But speaking of Disney stuff, they finally released that first trailer for The Little Mermaid that I've been dying to talk about and see.
Woo, woo, woo.
What y'all think?
So my thing with all the remakes is pretty much how excited I am or how much I care. It depends on how much I cared for the original movie.
Which you didn't care about Little Mermaid, so.
Right. So beyond, here's my thing. I like the cast. I'm happy for David, Awkwafina, everybody. And I'm happy that racists are upset. And beyond that, that's it for me.
This is one of my favorite Disney movies, and this is like different enough that I'm excited about it because I'm not always a fan of the remakes. You know how I feel. But this looks different enough that I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Especially the music. The music sounds different enough.
And then we have me, who is always willing to give a live action Disney remake a shot. I also loved Little Mermaid as a kid. I think I've got I was realizing as I was watching this trailer, I had like varying levels of love for things. Little Mermaid, I'm like, oh yeah, I loved that movie, but it's not quite the same amount of love that I have for like Aladdin or like Sleeping Beauty. Like, I love those movies. This one's like, yeah, I loved that movie as a kid. I really enjoy that movie. I enjoy the music, everything about it. I've been excited about this one since Halle Bailey got cast. I think that this trailer only proves that she was the right choice for the role. It has nothing to do with her race. It's not some sort of agenda. She legitimately is a good actress and has an amazing voice. And I knew that from the moment she got cast.
Yeah, I will say it's really nice seeing someone, because usually Disney will cast, not necessarily for live actions, just like generally, they'll cast an actor and then they'll figure out a way to make their voice sound good, even if they're not a singer. This
Beauty
is just
and the
like,
Beast, we're looking at you.
yeah.
Everybody else, you're fine. It's just Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. I don't think but I'm not just referring to live actions. I'm referring to like any Disney that requires singing.
I think musicals in general nowadays, sometimes they're just like, we'll just choose based on the name and not necessarily on the singing voice.
Exactly. And this
La La Land,
one,
I'm looking at you.
yes, but this one, like, I'm so glad they chose the singer because she's so good. Like, the voice was amazing. That I'm really excited to hear. I'm really excited about the soundtrack because she's just, it was just so beautiful.
I already have the soundtrack pre-added to my Apple Music because they put out a link to pre-add it or pre-save it after the trailer came out. And I was like, what? Let me do that real quick before I forget, because I'm so excited about the soundtrack because Halle Bailey is going to smash it.
Yeah.
I think I have very few criticisms about this trailer, so I'm going to just do those very quickly. And the main one is, okay, so the CGI animals. I'm okay. I'm okay with Scuttle. Flounder will probably grow on me. I don't know if I can get past Sebastian, but Sebastian.
Yeah, it's like my mom.
Sebastian made me realize how much the animators had to make Sebastian not look like a crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when he came out, I was, oh, right. That's
like, that's what crabs look like.
I forgot crabs. They don't look like cute Disney characters. They look like crabs.
I was hoping they would just flub it and do the Disney version, like the movie version.
I don't know, man. Like,
and then like have all the other animals be normal. Just those two just like look like the movie. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, Sebastian. It made me realize that the animated Sebastian looks like some mix between like a crab and a lobster.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like a crab.
Yeah. So watching it on the screen, I was like, ooh, that's gonna be a thing that I got to get used to. But okay. I do really like the underwater shots, especially like what looks like it's going to be under the sea. The song, not the, y'all know what I'm saying.
Yes.
The musical number looks very colorful and fun, and I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa McCarthy actually looks like she's doing a fantastic job as Ursula based on this one trailer.
Yeah.
I think that was the one thing that everybody was really worried about, was whether or not Melissa McCarthy was going to be able to pull off Ursula. And it sounds like she's got the voice and she looks pretty good as the character. I like what they've done with her tentacles with the bioluminescence. I think that's really cool.
Yes, that
did
looked
look
really,
cool, yeah.
really neat. I was like, if this was just for aesthetics, I'm like, yes, 100%. I'm here for it.
And it looks like she's not actually purple. It looks like they just lit that scene to be purple.
Okay. She white?
Which I think so. I don't know. But it looks like she's just lit with a purple light, which I think is a really cool way of still getting the aesthetic of the movie without having to paint her purple, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. That's fair.
People are really mad if now Ariel's black and the villain's just a Caucasian woman.
Yo, I've been saying from jump, how hilarious would it be if it was just a white woman stealing a little black girl's voice? Like, whoa, the social commentary.
That's what we're getting.
Right.
I think it's interesting that the above water shots look extremely different, but I think that's a good idea because then it makes sense why Ariel wants to explore this new world that looks absolutely nothing like the one that she lives in.
Exactly.
Right.
It's just like a completely different place.
Oh, my other criticism was that it was the uncanny valley of the hair, but the same thing applied with Aquaman, so I can get over that.
Yeah. The hair. Yeah. Just filming underwater's hard, so I get it.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they left Hallie in her locks, though.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. This looks like it's going to be one of the better live action Disney movies. Rob Marshall is typically a pretty good director. I mean, the man made Chicago.
Yes. Oh my God, Chicago. So we know he can direct a musical.
We do. Well, he's directed so many musicals. Chicago, Into the Woods, the Mary Poppins sequel that came out a few years ago. 9. I heard 9 wasn't that great, though, but he did do 9.
9 with the like puppet looking people?
No, not that one.
Okay. I was
The
like,
musical
what?
9.
The one with like Kate Hudson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He also was the choreographer on the Cinderella movie that all of us grew up loving with Brandy.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, so
oh my God, so exciting.
Simone Ashley is also in this movie for like a quick second, from what I understand, because she's playing one of Ariel's sisters.
Who is she?
All of the sisters are different, are like from different cultures, which is very, very cool.
Nice.
Simone Ashley is most well known at this point for Bridgerton. I know her from Sex Education.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard she's in this too.
It looks good to me. I thought it was a great idea to start the trailer off with the ship crashing.
It also just like, that's what starts the story, kind of.
Hallie's voice sounds immaculate, as it often does. I've never heard it not sound immaculate, so I love the way that she sings Part of Your World at the end of this trailer. I just like the acting choices made within singing the song.
Yeah.
This trailer also has 2 very iconic shots from the animated movie in it.
Yeah.
The hair flip shot
Yeah.
Right.
and the shot of her on the rock,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. Nice touch. But also her mannerisms feel very Ariel, very innocent, but also still got a lot of attitude to it.
Yeah, I agree.
This should be fun. I'm excited.
Me too. It looks really fun.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for fun, guys. And I will probably be seeing it in IMAX. And I will probably see it more than once just to upset all the racists.
That's what I'm here
It's
for.
so dumb.
I know. I'm like, Dallas is just going to see this movie just to upset the racists.
Honestly, that's a good. Spite is always a great reason to
Spite
do
is always
things.
a great reason.
That's what we're here for. We're just here for the spite.
We're just doing it out of spite.
So, Little Mermaid coming out May 26th. I'm super stoked. Gabby sounds like she's super stoked. Dallas is just here to upset the racists.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, news.
Yes, on to the news.
Let's run through these
One
real quick.
for me. Batman's back, baby.
Oh, yes, bro. I'm
Yes.
so excited.
Yeah.
Batman Cape Crusader was axed by HBO Max because they're stupid. But Amazon picked it up for not 1, but 2 seasons. So it went from maybe 1 season to 0, now to 2.
Yeah, we
Love
won.
that for me.
Nice.
Dallas, we
Nice.
won for real.
For real. Like, oh, I'm getting 2? I
Ooh.
thought I was getting 0.
You're eating.
I don't think there's much more to say about this except we're just so happy that it's happening.
Yes.
I was so
Just
sad when they axed it because I
so
was
excited.
like, for me, the big draw was that. Well, I mean,
Matt
Bruce Timm did a fantastic job with Batman the Animated Series, and this is supposed to be similar to Batman the Animated Series, but I think it's supposed to be like a little bit more mature or something like
Yeah,
that.
since it's going to build on it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
whatever that
but
means.
also that Matt Reeves is involved.
Right.
And because of what Matt Reeves did with The Batman, I'm like, what is he going to do with an animated series that is also being worked on with Bruce Timm?
Right. Like we can get the best of all the Batman worlds.
Exactly. Like the best of my 2 favorite Batman worlds.
That's so awesome.
Ooh.
I'm so excited.
And
we hear Mark Hamill coming in.
he's
it's
not.
like,
Mark Hamill is retired from playing the Joker.
Which is like
I get it.
fair, take your rest, but that's just
I think his
he's
reasoning
the
was,
GOAT.
yeah, his reasoning was like, you can't have the Joker without the Batman, or you can have
Oh,
the Joker without the
without-
Batman.
Right.
And his
Aw.
Batman was Kevin Conroy.
I feel that.
So he can't do it anymore without Kevin Conroy.
That's
I feel it.
fair.
So like, yes, it's sad, but also
Trying to have me crying in the club right now.
Okay.
it's like speaking of Batman the Animated Series.
Mhm.
Yay. Okay.
But yeah, I don't think we'll get Mark Hamill back as the Joker. I think he is officially retired from the role, but maybe
Got it.
we'll get somebody else who is, phenomenal as the Joker as well. I mean, Alan Tudyk is great on Harley Quinn as
He's doing a
Joker.
great job.
It's a very different type of Joker.
You're right, but he's great.
But I'm sure that there's somebody out there who will do just as good of a job.
Yeah.
Well, probably not just as good of a job as Mark Hamill,
But
we'll
to do a good job in
a
their own right.
great job. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
See.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And then we've got
Jenna Ortega. She's in talks to star in Beetlejuice 2.
Yo,
I
that'd
believe
be
that that's
awesome.
probably going to happen. After Wednesday, which was also done by Tim Burton, and Tim Burton likes working with the same people
He
over and
does.
over again.
He does.
So-
He does.
This is a nice picture of her on the Variety article that Demi linked.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, it's the one from the Golden
Oh,
Globes.
yes, from the Golden Globes. Yes, it is a very nice photo of
Yeah.
her.
Oh gosh, I hope she gets it, and I hope she's like Winona Ryder's daughter or something.
No,
like
that's
that.
she's in talks to play Winona Ryder's daughter.
Yo,
Nice.
amazing. Yes, love it.
Yeah, I like the first Beetlejuice. I really like. It's not like one of my favorite movies, but like if I think about that movie, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good movie. I really like it. It's really funny. It's got a lot of scenes that I really adore. Gina Davis is in it. That's enough for me.
Yeah, the end is really like fun and whimsical.
Yeah, I think several cast members have said over the years that this movie was in the works, and it sounds
Yeah.
like all of them are like, we plan to come back. So like Michael Keaton will be back as Beetlejuice if they do it,
I
and Winona Ryder will most likely be back as Lydia Dietz if they do it.
I think she actually said in like a Stranger Things interview that or like for promotion for Stranger Things, she had told the Stranger Things people, she was like, if this comes up, like you need to give me room because I am going to do it.
Yeah, and she mentioned it back in like, mind you, this was 2015
Mm-hmm.
in an interview.
Yeah.
Most likely by the time they finally start shooting this, though, she'll be done with Stranger Things. They're filming that over the summer.
Probably.
Poor David Harbour. He's going to be filming both Stranger Things and Thunderbolts at the same time.
Yikes.
Busy.
Busy.
So he's going to be like super fit on Stranger Things.
Yeah, but at least he'll be
Wild.
fit instead of being like, they made him like scrawny, and I think he had to lose like 40 pounds for last season.
Did he?
Yeah, because he was in that jail.
Prison,
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Poor
made him-
guy.
Crazy.
They made him scrawny for David Harbour.
Yeah.
Right.
That man's like 6'5".
Yeah, he just didn't look like Hellboy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or like he usually does as Hopper.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Hopper eats good.
Or,
Like,
Alexi. But,
Yeah.
Right.
but I guess that means, although I do wonder, no, because Alexi's not fit.
No, he's large.
no, he wasn't.
Yeah,
But
so
like, if he's gonna join a team, you probably get.
Maybe.
He's gonna be on the Thunder.
I can see him
We'll
just
see.
doing his thing.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
I'm hot.
see.
I'm hot.
this is the Thunderbolts is being made for me. We're gonna see it. Yeah, so it sounds like Beetlejuice 2 is finally gonna come to fruition after years and years of being in development hell. So good for them.
Yeah.
And Jenna Ortega is
She's so hot right now.
she's so talented, bro.
To quote Zoolander.
She
Yeah.
is. She's so talented, and I loved her on Wednesday. She was great on You.
Yeah.
Um,
she's had a very long career, so it's interesting.
yeah, she's
watching
been acting
her.
since she was like 10 or something, and
Yeah.
she's 20 now. So
Yeah.
she's been acting half her life, and now she's finally having her moment. That tells you how Hollywood actually is. I think a lot of people think that this stuff happens overnight,
No,
but
it's a really long.
it takes a really long time. She's been working like 10 years towards this, and now she's finally like the it girl
Yeah.
over the
For some
span of
people,
like the
it
last
never
2 years.
happens.
Exactly.
Like the work for decades, and
Yeah. What's next on the news list, Dallas?
Next on the news list, Elizabeth Banks leads the voice cast of the Flintstones animated series, Bedrock.
I love the Flintstones. It's one of the core memories that I have of my childhood. So I will definitely be checking this out.
I'm wondering what kind of Flintstones this is going to be, though, because the most recent like stuff that they've been bringing back, they've made it kind of dicey, or not dicey, like very like adult.
Well,
So
they'll
I'm
make it as
wondering-
adult as they can for primetime television because it's on Fox.
Oh, okay, so it'll be like Bob's Burgers or The Simpsons.
I mean,
That sort of groaner.
yeah, like Family
Humor.
Guy's on Fox and they do some insane things.
Yeah.
But I think I said primetime though, so I don't think, is that primetime?
I don't know when shows come on anymore.
That's
I don't
fair.
have regular TV anymore.
What?
I don't know like when these shows come on.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
me either.
I am excited that it's a different look at the show.
Mhm.
Because like I was a huge fan of the Flintstones. I also loved Pebbles and Bam Bam as a kid.
Mhm.
They didn't
Um,
talk, right? Pebbles
No,
and
they
Bam
were
Bam?
babies.
They're,
Bam Bam just said Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Elizabeth is playing Pebbles.
but she's playing the adult
Mm.
Pebbles.
Oh.
Like she's a single mom.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
This picture
Yeah.
on the thing is
But
just
then-
showing the characters what they used to look like.
Yeah, but also there's the Pebbles and Bam Bam show where they were teenagers.
I definitely
I
never saw
remember
that.
that.
I loved that show.
It was on Boomerang.
It was.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All
It was
those
on
shows were on Boomerang.
Yeah,
That's how
they're
we
all on Boomerang.
That's
They
how
were,
we all
like,
watch them. That or
soda
Cartoon
shops
Network.
and stuff, like
Yeah.
because the show started coming out in like
Okay.
the 70s.
Oh,
Interesting.
whoa. You know what? It says a primetime animated adult comedy series. So yeah, it'll be a little dicey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. For those who don't know, like me, continuing the story of the Stone Age family, Bedrock catches up with the Flintstone family 2 decades later with Fred on the brink of retirement and 20-something Pebbles embarking on her own career.
Oh, wait. Maybe she's not a single mom. Where did I read that?
Not
I
sure.
have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh my god, Joe Trujillo as Barney. You
Yeah,
know
it's
that
gonna be
is
interesting.
Boyle, and
Yeah.
then Boyle's dad as Fred.
Nicole
Yo.
Byer as Betty.
That's gonna be great.
This
This
is an
show's gonna be
interesting cast.
delightful.
I do think Stephen Root is going to make a great Fred.
Amy
Yeah.
Sedaris is going to make a great Wilma. I love Amy Sedaris.
It's going to
Yeah.
be fun.
She's fantastic on The Mandalorian.
She is. Oh my god, I love her. Her brother's like a really famous writer.
But cool.
But yeah, I love the Flintstones. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or at least I
woo.
hope it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, I
Me
like
too.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, I do too. I think
Yeah.
she's a great director and actor.
I really, really like her as an actor. She's very funny. She's very entertaining. I've only seen, as far as her directing, I've only seen Cocaine Bear, which, great time.
I've seen
3.
I think
of
I've
the project.
seen, yeah. How many movies has she
She's only
directed?
done
I think
3,
she's
right?
only done 3.
So I've seen all 3 movies that
Yeah.
she's directed.
Pitch Perfect, Charlie's Angels.
Not the first
and-
Pitch Perfect.
Actually, I haven't seen
Pitch Perfect
Cocaine
2.
Bear.
It was Pitch Perfect too.
Then I have not seen. I've only seen Charlie's Angels.
Got it.
I've seen all 3 movies that she's directed.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
should be a fun time. And one more for me to get excited about, Mission Impossible 8 cast Hannah Waddingham.
Hannah
Rebecca
Waddingham.
Welter.
Another actress who is also everywhere.
I know. I love this
love
for her because she had a really long stage career, so she's also having a moment. I like it.
And she just seems so
Oh.
fun.
Yeah, she seems really delightful. Like she's figured out life and she's just hanging on for the ride right now.
Hold on. Elizabeth Banks was also a director for movie 43, but that had like several.
No,
Yeah,
we
she
don't
was
talk
one
about
of the
that.
directors. I purposely left that out
Oh, okay.
because, man, do I hate that movie.
And it was mean. It was a mean joke.
I've never seen it.
Don't ever do that. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. I'm so excited. I don't know what they're going to have her do, but whatever it is, I'm going to love it. She popped in Hocus Pocus 2 for like 8 minutes.
She also
And she was
pops
amazing.
in Willow for like 8 minutes, and she's amazing.
Ugh, iconic.
And I'm rewatching season 2 of Ted Lasso right now. So it's just
Yo,
this
she
woman.
legitimately was so good on Willow that the showrunner was like, I have one regret about the season, and it's that I killed off her character.
Oh, boo.
Also, one
Hey,
thing I
bring her
said off my...
I mean, yes, there's magic on the
you
show.
got magic. You can do whatever you want.
John Kasdan, if you want to bring her back, we're not going to complain.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I even watched the show and I'd be happy about it.
Yeah,
I'm going to send you guys her scenes. Or actually, I'm still waiting for Gabby to just start the show. So
Fair.
I will. It's on the. You know,
I'll
what? I'll
start-
start making a list again.
you should
I
make
have
a list, yeah. I'll send you the scenes that she's in, though, Dallas. I think she's very good.
I would enjoy that.
She's a
Also-
phenomenal actress.
Since I've watched Ted Lasso, where I fell in love with Hannah Waddingham, and since I watched Ozark, where I fell in fear of Janet McTeer, I've wanted these two to act against each other in some form or fashion, and they're both in this movie.
So
I
you're
don't
hoping
know.
that they have scenes together.
Yeah, I don't know in what capacity, but I really hope that they interact because they're both just...
I don't know in what capacity either, because I've gotten confused as to which one is 7 and which one's 8 at this point. I know 7's coming out.
Right. But they just... Tall, British, powerful woman is...
You're into
That
it.
perfectly described both of them.
That's the vibe.
And even though Janet McTeer is playing a not British person in Ozark, but she's terrifying, and I love it. So I'm excited. I don't even really get excited for Mission Impossible movies because I forget them as soon as I watch them. I watch them, I'm like, that was pretty dope. And then by the time the next
There
one
is-
comes out, I'm like,
What
What
was that
happened last
about?
There is legitimately one Mission Impossible movie that lives rent free in my head that I
Is it
remember
Ghost
all the time. It's Ghost
Yes.
Protocol. Directed by Brad Bird.
Brad Bird.
And also that was the first movie I think I ever saw in IMAX, and it was the first Mission Impossible movie I ever saw.
Is that the only one that Paula Pattinson?
Yes, it is. Bring her back.
Tragic.
Bring back Jane Carter, aka Paula Patton. Especially now, it was cool at first because it was just like, oh well, you guys change out your casts all the time anyway. But now you keep bringing the same ones back. Bring back Paula Patton. What are we doing out here?
Question. What is the big stunt that what's his face is doing in this movie?
He drives a motorcycle off of a cliff for the 7th one that's coming out.
For the 7th one, not the 8th one.
8th doesn't have a trailer yet because 7 hasn't come out. We're still waiting on 7.
Oh, okay.
Dead Reckoning, part 1.
Yeah.
Technically, she's in Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yeah, she is in the 8th one. So I assume they're just gonna shoot him into space or something stupid.
Actually, wait. I think they said they are planning to go to space for one of Tom Cruise's upcoming movie and legitimately filming in space.
So what they're gonna do? They're gonna get a rocket, and then Tom Cruise is gonna hold on to it with some glue on his hands, and it's gonna shoot it into space, and he's gonna survive, and it's gonna be great.
Oh God!
Oh no! That's not the one where that's not Mission Impossible. He's doing a movie with SpaceX.
Oh God!
Not surprised.
This is too much. Okay.
But yeah, also speaking of Mission Impossible, it also has Haley Atwell in it.
Woo woo!
That's true.
I love that for me.
Yeah.
All my favorite British people.
They finally made a Mission Impossible movie for Dallas, even though this one's not directed by Brad Bird.
Fair. I should clarify. All my favorite British white people. My favorite British people are all those black dudes who sound very American.
Yeah,
Daniel Kaluuya, Damson Idris. They're just Elba sometimes.
John Boyega.
Right.
Yeah. Wild.
But yeah, my favorite British white women. I love all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That is our news.
Woo-woo.
We did it, right? That's everything.
Yes, I think that is
everything. We did it.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for listening to all of that. Thank you to Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing. Thank you for putting us on YouTube. Thank you for repping for the Schmigadoon, Schmicagoans, the Horny Hive. You put on a lot of hats today.
I had so many hats. Taking them on and off, man, all day. Top Boy, I had y'all.
Right. The British crime drama fans.
Oh my gosh.
Gabby, thank you for repping for an underserved community on this podcast, Korean drama fans.
Woo!
Yes.
We never get that.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
I like that we're really broadening. We've got Korean dramas. I do anime, so we've got the Japanese shows going.
Yeah. To quote a super famous line from The Chappelle Show by Genius Jizza of Wu-Tang Clan, you need to diversify your bonds, nigga.
We're a very diverse podcast.
And that's what we do. Audience, what did you think of 65? What about Poker Face? Can you believe that crazy thing happened at the Oscars? That was wild, right?
Whoa.
Oh my God. I can't believe that dude punched that other dude in the face.
That was last year.
Gonna happen again.
That was not a punch.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, this time it was a punch. And then he body slammed. It was crazy. Suplex.
Security didn't get out there fast enough.
Right.
That security team that they put in place for this year didn't work out.
Yeah. Crazy. Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, and TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me about why I actually don't care about the Oscars, find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba.
If you want to talk to me about who won and why I'm happy and or disappointed, hit me up on the Instagrams at Stegosaurus.
And if you guys want to talk to me about how Everything Everywhere All at Once won Everything Everywhere All at Once at the Oscars, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. God, I hope that prediction comes true. Thanks again for joining us. Join us again later on this week. We will be doing a reaction to Shazam!
Shazam!
Woo-woo.
Love that. Forgot about Colin. If you want to find Colin, he is on Twitter at Dino Daddy.
Yes.
Oh,
he's going to hate that.
Yo, and we had 2 things that we talked about that have to do with dinosaurs.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
We talked about the Horny Hive.
Oh, God.
We talked about Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about Ana de Armas.
We did.
Which version of Ghosted do you think would inspire more thirst out of you?
No.
The OG Scarlett or the Ana de Armas?
That's easy. It's the OG Scarlett. Come on.
Is that your answer? Or
no,
your answer
that's her answer.
I'm asking both of you.
Oh God. Anna, sorry.
I figured it was for you. This question was mostly for Demi.
Demi is visibly
it's
conflicted.
Like her 1A and 1B of thirst. Demi is dying trying to answer this question.
Her brain's imploding.
There's probably a vein popping out of my a blood vessel just kind of popping out of my forehead as I try and I'll get back to you later.
That's one of those Hot Ones questions where they're like, wow, that's such a good question.
Right.
I I did think to myself, there's an alternate universe where Ghosted exists with Scarlett Johansson, and I really want to see what it looks like.
I bet you do.
I travel to that universe to watch that.
I would too. There are several universes that have movies that I want to see that I would travel to.